Hey folks, so I am kicking off the month of January talking all about hidden gem wine regions and varietals from around the world. And this is a topic that I'm really jazzed to be exploring more of this month. And to be quite honest, there's so many hidden gem wine regions. I'm likely going to be talking about this well into February, but I think it's really important because there are so many popular wines out there, such as, your Napas and Bordeaux's, and it's really easy as a consumer to get stuck in your ways and just drink the same stuff over and over. But there are some amazing wine regions and great varietals out there on the market that just don't get the same love and attention. And I find these wines to be super unique. And because they're not as popular as other wines on the market, they're also going to be really affordable. So you can get an incredible bottle of wine for under $20, and you'll be surprised at what you like. So I really encourage you this month to get out there, get curious, expand your palate. And I'm going to be starting this series off by talking about one of my new favorites, which is Hungarian wines. And I got this bottle, and I'll talk about this towards the end of the video, but I got this bottle at a local bottle shop here in Portland, and I haven't had a ton of Hungarian wines myself. They're just now starting to gain popularity, and that's because historically their vineyards have been hit really hard and they haven't produced a ton of wine, but that's now starting to change, and they're starting to get more popular and get their wines back on the market. And the reason why they were hit so hard is they were really, their vineyards were really impacted by the root-eating pest Phylloxera back in the late 1800s. And then in addition to that, they got hit really hard with the two world wars, and they also were under communist leadership for 40 years. So a lot of their vines were destroyed during the world wars, and then they weren't producing any new wines. And so they went through this big hiatus, but now a lot of estates are coming back onto the scene, and they're planting new vineyards. And so you're really going to be seeing a lot more Hungarian wines come on the market in the years to come, which really jazzed about. So let's do a quick overview on some of the different wine regions you should look out for when you're in a bottle shop shopping for Hungarian wines. And I wrote them down because I could not remember all these, and I probably will botch a lot of the pronunciation. So just bear with me. I'm learning. So before I get into the four wine regions, I just wanted to talk quickly on some of the growing conditions of Hungarian wines. And Hungary is actually on the same latitude as a lot of your more popular wine regions in France, such as Champagne and Northern Rhone. So this country is really optimal for grape growing conditions, and it's famous for a lot of really cool volcanic soils that are producing some really complex and ashy wines that I just find to be super unique and really delicious. So the first wine region that I wanted to talk about is the wine region Edgar. And this wine region is famous for white blends as well as red blends. So a lot of table wines come out of Edgar. And, I personally haven't explored this region, but if you're looking for an affordable table wine, I would suggest starting with this region in Hungary. You also have Tokai, and Tokai is one that you may have already heard about. I know I personally learned about it in WSET, but Tokai is famous for a sweet style wine. And I honestly could do a whole video on how the sweet style wine Tokai is made, just because it's a really cool winemaking process, and the wine is incredible. It's fairly pricey, but they also in this region are known for a dry style white wine made from the grape Ferment. Now, in addition to Edgar and Tokai, you also have the wine region of Villany. And again, I hope I pronounced that right. But Villany is a region in southern Hungary that borders with Croatia. And this is going to be your warmest region within Hungary. And it produces a lot of native grapes to Hungary, but then it also produces grapes that you'll find in a Bordeaux blend. So out of Villany, you will be getting Cabernet Sauvignon, you'll be getting Cabernet Franc, and you'll be getting Merlot. And, a lot of these wines are going to be your bigger, bolder style reds. And then the fourth region, which you may see a lot of in a bottle shop, is Somlo. And Samlo is really unique because it is famous for its volcanic soil. So it produces a lot of white wines in this region that have this flinty, ashy, smoky characteristic to them that is really unique to this particular region. And these wines are just really fiery and fun. And like I said, a lot of these wines I haven't tried. And so just going through the rundown of different regions, I'm really excited to explore more of this country and the wines that come out of it. Now, the final, one other really cool highlight about Hungarian wines is that in addition to French oak and American oak, Hungarian oak is one of the 3 oaks that are used for the production of wine barrels across the world. And so a lot of the wines that you get coming out of Hungary are going to be made with Hungarian oak. And the difference between Hungarian oak and American oak and French oak is that Hungarian oak is going to be a lot more delicate in what it imparts into the wine. So if you are not a fan of big oaky wines, or you don't like the aromas and flavors of all the vanilla and baking spices and cedar that you would get in a typical oak aged wine, you might want to check out some Hungarian wines, because the expression of the oak in those wines is going to be a lot more delicate and not as overpowering as the American and French counterparts. So that's a little tidbit on Hungarian oak. And then as far as the wine I'm drinking today, this is one, it's from the region of Szekszárd, and Szekszárd is in the southern part of Hungary, also bordering Croatia. And this region, very similar to Villany, is going to have those Bordeaux style red blends. I'm not sure what grapes, it doesn't really specify on this bottle what grapes are used in this wine, but I can presume it is a red blend. And what is really unique about this wine, I got this at a local bottle shop here in Portland, is that it has the aromas and flavors of a Bordeaux style wine, except it's incredibly light bodied. The ABV on this is only 12%. And so when I first had this at the bottle shop, I thought it was really food friendly because it wasn't overpowering and just very delicate, sippable, kind of an everyday drinker. And yeah, it's almost pink in color because it's so light bodied. And in addition to those red fruit and black fruit notes, it has this funkiness that I don't usually get in Bordeaux style wines. Yeah, this is a great wine. So I'm really excited to explore more of Hungarian wines, whether it be white or red wines or the blends that I was talking about earlier. So yeah, that's a quick rundown of Hungarian wines for today. And please let me know if you have any recommendations. And I'm looking to explore more, so put them in the comments. And I look forward to talking to you next about another country and another cool grape varietal. Okay, that's it. Bye.